Our plan is to demand that the president release the files, and we'll see what he does on the 19th. But I think, again, these pictures, some of these photos are really disturbing. And I know we've put some out today. There are many others. And some of the other photos that we did not put out today are incredibly disturbing.
Newly surfaced photos tied to Jeffrey Epstein are circulating again, and among them are images showing Donald Trump at social events years ago. Before anything else, one thing must be clear. Photographs show proximity, not proof. They capture moments in time, not intent, not conduct, and not guilt. And yet, when images like these resurface, they reignite questions that many Americans believe were never fully answered. So tonight, we're not asking what these photos prove. We're asking why they matter and what the public is meant to take from them now. Jeffrey Epstein moved for decades through elite social circles, politicians, business leaders, celebrities, financiers. His access was broad, his connections extensive. In those environments, cameras were common, events were public, and appearances were routine. Many people encountered Epstein before his crimes were fully known or understood. Donald Trump has acknowledged knowing Epstein socially in the past, as have numerous public figures across political and business worlds. Trump has also said he later distanced himself. These statements are part of the public record. The photos themselves do not establish wrongdoing, nor do they alter known legal findings. But they do reopen a larger conversation. For many Americans, the Epstein case symbolizes something unresolved, not just about individuals, but about systems. How someone accused of serious crimes gained prolonged access to power, how warning signs were missed, how accountability felt delayed, and how trust was weakened as a result. That's why images like these spark reaction. Some view their release as transparency, a belief that the public deserves to see historical records involving powerful figures regardless of discomfort. Others see the timing as political, arguing that resurfacing old material without new evidence risks fueling speculation rather than clarity. So which is it? In an election year, perception carries weight, timing shapes interpretation, and narratives compete for attention. Ask yourself this: when old images reappear without new facts, do they help us understand the past or distract us from the present? Do they push accountability forward or pull discourse backward into unresolved suspicion? These questions matter because trust is fragile. Once people believe information is released selectively, skepticism grows. Once skepticism becomes default, even legitimate transparency struggles to restore confidence. At the same time, ignoring public curiosity only deepens doubt. Silence breeds speculation, and speculation fills gaps left by incomplete explanation. That tension defines this moment. As these images circulate, the challenge for viewers is discernment, separating documentation from implication, context from assumption, curiosity from conclusion. Because democracy depends not just on access to information, but on how responsibly that information is understood. Stay with us. In the next part, we'll look at why Epstein's shadow continues to influence public trust, how media framing shapes reaction, and what public Americans should reasonably expect from transparency when power and perception collide. Before we continue, we want to hear from you. Do you believe resurfacing images like these serves accountability, or does it deepen distrust without delivering answers? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments, and keep watching.
The reason Epstein-related stories continue to resurface isn't because of photographs alone. It's because many Americans feel the larger story never reached a satisfying conclusion. The Epstein case raised uncomfortable questions about wealth, influence, and access. Questions about how long misconduct can remain hidden when surrounded by power. Questions about why scrutiny often arrives late. And questions about whether systems protect themselves more effectively than they protect victims. Those questions linger, and images become symbols of that unease. It's important to say this clearly and repeatedly. Being photographed with Epstein does not imply criminal behavior. Many individuals encountered him socially long before his crimes were widely exposed. Conflating presence with participation undermines truth and fairness. But it's also true that transparency matters. Institutions lose credibility when information appears controlled or selectively released. Public trust weakens when people feel they are seeing fragments instead of full explanations. This is where responsible journalism matters most, not amplifying speculation, not minimizing public concern, but contextualizing facts carefully, clearly, and consistently. Media faces a difficult task: inform without inflaming, question without accusing, explain without sensationalizing. Because the real danger here is not scandal, it's cynicism. The belief that truth never fully emerges, that accountability never reaches the top, that information is always released for advantage rather than understanding. That belief corrodes democratic faith. As the 2024 election approaches, moments like this will become more frequent. Old stories revisited, new angles emphasized, emotional reactions amplified, and voters navigating a constant stream of information, trying to determine relevance, credibility, and intent. So ask yourself this: what does meaningful accountability actually look like? Is it the release of images or the reform of systems that allowed abuse to go undetected? Is it revisiting the past or preventing the next failure? Those are harder questions than any photograph can answer, and they are the questions that matter most. As this story continues to circulate, the responsibility rests not just with politicians or media, but with all of us as consumers of information, to demand context, to resist assumption, to stay engaged without surrendering judgment. We want to hear from you. Do stories like this bring us closer to accountability or push us deeper into distrust? Comment below, stay engaged, and keep watching, because understanding how power, transparency, and responsibility intersect is essential to an informed democracy.